A move both unexpected and deeply symbolic. King Charles III and Queen Camilla made a surprise royal visit to Canada's Parliament in Ottawa this past May, setting off a wave of speculation, celebration, and political interpretation across the country. While officially billed as a cultural goodwill tour, the timing and tone of their speeches have led many to wonder whether the visit was something more a quiet but clear reaffirmation of Canada's independence, identity, and global standing in the face of growing tensions with its southern neighbor. The highlight of the visit came during King Charles's address to Parliament, where he invoked the iconic Canadian anthem with the phrase, "The true North is indeed strong and free." While the words may appear ceremonial on the surface, political analysts and royal watchers quickly seized on them as a pointed reminder of Canada's sovereignty and enduring values at a time when trade pressure, nationalism, and even annexation rhetoric from USA political voices have threatened to undermine Canadian confidence. The moment was captured in full by news outlets and live-streamed globally on social media platforms like Twitter and TikTok. Canadians responded with emotional posts and hashtags such as Royal Reunion and True North Strong, rapidly pushing clips of the royal speech into viral territory. The visit struck a deep emotional chord, particularly for older Canadians, who still view the monarchy as a stabilizing symbol during uncertain times, and younger generations newly awakened to questions of identity, autonomy, and national pride. This marks King Charles's first solo state visit to Canada as reigning monarch, and it could not have come at a more charged moment, with former USA President Donald Trump once again in office and threatening steep tariffs, as well as vague provocative comments from American officials about reunifying North America. Canada has found itself navigating one of the most delicate cross-border climates in years. The King's visit, whether intentional or not, seemed to offer Canada a diplomatic lifeline, a reminder that it is not alone or without historic allies, adding to the weight of the visit. The royal couple met with Indigenous leaders in a closed-door session that lasted over an hour. Sources close to the meeting said the discussions focused on truth and reconciliation, climate cooperation, and protecting cultural heritage. This gesture was widely praised and interpreted as King Charles's attempt to modernize the monarchy's role in Canada, not just as a voice for healing and unity. It also helped soften criticism from anti-monarchist groups, who questioned the relevance of royal visits in 21st century Canadian politics. The media response was predictably split. While conservative outlets lauded the visit as a timely affirmation of Canada's values and unity, progressive voices raised questions about whether the monarchy still holds meaningful sway in the Canadian public sphere. Nevertheless, the widespread emotional response among ordinary Canadians, from waving flags at airports to handwritten letters left at Rideau Hall, suggested that for many, the symbolism still matters. Some critics in the USA took a different tone altogether. A few right-wing commentators accused Canada of hiding behind the crown rather than negotiating trade issues directly. In contrast, Canadian pundits applauded the subtle diplomatic messaging of the visit, pointing out that royal presence often signals stability and continuity, especially in post-colonial democracies where identity politics are increasingly volatile. In schools across Ontario and Quebec, teachers reportedly used the royal speech as a civics lesson, exploring themes of sovereignty, constitutional monarchy, and Canada's global alliances. A viral clip showed an 11-year-old student saying, "It is cool that the King came here when we needed someone to remind us we are strong on our own." That sentiment, simple yet powerful, mirrored much of the online dialogue that followed. As global attention turns to Canada, in light of its growing role in Arctic diplomacy, energy independence, and cultural exports, the royal visit seems to have served as an anchor of reassurance during turbulent times, whether seen as political theater or heartfelt allegiance. The presence of King Charles III and Queen Camilla reaffirmed something many Canadians feared was fading: that their country matters, not just economically, but morally, historically, and symbolically. The royal plane has since returned to the UK, but the message remains: Canada is standing tall, its flag waving independently, even as strong winds blow from the south. And in the words of King Charles, echoed now in hashtags and headlines alike, "The true North is indeed strong and free." And that is the full story behind King Charles III's powerful visit to Canada, a moment that mixed royalty, patriotism, and subtle diplomacy during uncertain times. Whether you see it as symbolic support or just tradition, one thing is clear: the message of the true North, strong and free, has never felt more relevant. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Canada's royal moment, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to West is Best, your home for bold stories, viral updates, and Canadian pride. Stay tuned, because history is not just happening, it is happening here.